ciao ragazzi, sono una Digital Marketing Manager ALK per ALK Technologies. Lui il mio capo, David Quinn, Head of Consumer Applications in ALK. Prima parliamo un po' sull'applicazione, sulla nostra storia e poi parliamo che abbiamo nuovo la versione 9.4 e poi parliamo un po' di futuro e scusa, io parlo solo un po' italiano, allora scusa per gli errori, spero che puoi capire che sto dicendo.
Okay. So yeah, I'm David, and unfortunately my Italian is not as good as Pauline's, which is I think is very good. So if we're okay to talk in English, it's okay. Pauline, you can help me out. So thank you very much everybody for coming. Today we really wanted to explain a little bit about CoPilot for people that don't know CoPilot too well. And then also explaining what we have in our new version of the application, which will be available in hopefully 2 weeks with some help from Apple. So maybe if we start with a little bit of history about CoPilot. And maybe some people here already know CoPilot very well. CoPilot is from this company ALK Technologies. And ALK is a company which has been in business for since 1979. So it's a very old technology company, well, older than Google, incredibly, and not as big as Google. We are a very old company. And CoPilot navigation has been available for the 1990s, when GPS was first made available by the US Department of Defense, by Bill Clinton. And so 1998 was CoPilot 1.0, and this was a GPS navigation product for laptops. And we still have this version today. It's now version 12 for laptops. So almost one a year, not quite. Then in 2000 we introduced Pocket CoPilot. So we came from the laptop to the handheld. And this was with the Microsoft Pocket PC and the original compact iPad. I don't know, did anybody hear about compact iPad? It's a HTC device. Then in 2002, this became the CoPilot came to Europe, in fact, as the compact iPad navigation system. So compact branded, but in fact was CoPilot underneath. In 2003, Compaq, or HP at this point, decided that there was no future in navigation. So HP ended the iPad navigation project. Incredible. And really. And so at this point, CoPilot, we launched CoPilot as CoPilot, not iPad. And so we also launched the world's first connected navigation system. So we always saw the mobile device as a perfect solution for perfect platform for navigation, and we always saw these devices would become connected. So really, from very early, CoPilot was connected to the internet, and so we had real-time location tracking in CoPilot all the way back in 2003. Of course, these days we have to call it location sharing, but it was possible to see where let other people see where you are on a map as you drive. And we still have that available in some versions of the product. of course, in those days it was very difficult to connect the iPad to the internet. We had to get a GPRS phone and a T68i or something to connect it. 2005, a great product, which I'm not even sure, it was only in small numbers in Italy, very big in Germany, but a product called the A780, which was a Motorola phone made a Linux-based phone. And this was the first, really the first navigation phone to ever come to market. But it also launched at the same time as the Motorola Razr. So it was I think the Razr won that battle. And really since then we've been working to bring CoPilot to the smartphone. And so in 2006 we were the first to launch local search in CoPilot. We worked with HTC in Italy very successfully. And then finally in 2009 everything changed when Android and iPhone first launched, and or when they first enabled navigation. And so CoPilot launched on Android first, and then iPhone, in fact. And so we've been working with these platforms ever since. In 2010, an interesting product, CoPilot Truck, which is a very expensive app designed for drivers of lorries and large vehicles. This is a €160 application. I think it may be the most expensive in iTunes. So then last year we launched our version 9 for mobile, which is on the App Store as CoPilot Live Premium. And then this year we launched a free version of CoPilot, first ever free version, called CoPilot GPS. And so CoPilot GPS is, for free, is a mapping and trip planning application with turn-by-turn navigation as an upgrade. And we're very excited about this app. And in Italy in particular, it's been really successful. And so this has been the #1 navigation app in Italy for some time. It's not always the #1, unfortunately, but sometimes the #1. And so we've had more than 2 million downloads of this application in 6 months. So I think it shows us that there's still a lot of people want maps on their phones. And when Apple launched their mapping service, the downloads for the CoPilot GPS app went up a bit, unsurprising. But you know, we have all this history, but actually we really think we're only just getting started. So we have a lot more to do with navigation. So, CoPilot, as CoPilot is today. CoPilot is a in-car navigation product. So it's there's a lot of navigation apps on the App Store. There's a lot of good mapping apps, but CoPilot is for in-car use as the primary purpose. So it isn't really you can use it walking. We use it walking here today, but it's a in-car product. And so it's designed to provide the performance of a PND on your mobile phone. And so of course one of the big benefits is all the maps are on your handset. They're not downloaded each trip, which is important because it prevents you being left without maps if you have no connection. That happens a lot. It avoids roaming charges if you go to a different country. And of course, these days the mobile operators want to charge us for mobile data as well. So it saves your mobile data. And the maps are always with you, so you can use it wherever you are. It's a driver-friendly product, and this is a typical CoPilot screen here with very easy to follow directions, clear guidance, and full features. So we use signpost information, speed limits, full feature. There is a walking mode, and then these live services, and we'll come onto those in a bit. But finally, and probably not least, is Navtech maps. I think we have a representative from Nokia in the room today. And so these, I think everybody here is aware of these maps. These really are the best maps for in-car navigation. Maybe not necessarily the best maps for walking, but they're the best maps for in-car. And so we choose Nella or Nokia. So where is CoPilot on the map of navigation apps? And I think it's easy to generalize mapping, because I think sometimes people see navigation apps as all being the same, but in fact they're very different. And we can probably add another 10 or 20 apps to this list, but just as an overview. So we have, at the top end, we have what we call CoPilot Live Premium, which is our full-featured navigation product. And this includes traffic as standard, and it includes text-to-speech voice guidance, and it's unlimited use, turn-by-turn navigation. So you buy it once, and it's about €25, and then you'll never have to pay for it again. So, lifetime use navigation. We position it up at the top with our friends at TomTom and our friends at Garmin/Navigon, and we may be a little bit less expensive than these applications, but we think that we have a very strong set of features for in-car guidance. There are some sort of middle players that use some different maps. Navme use A and D maps, I think. But then at the end, at this bottom end, this is the interesting part of the market. So this is the free, or almost free mapping category. And now there's a lot of differences between those applications, as I'm sure you're all very aware. So CoPilot GPS is the planning. You've got Google, which is pretty good for walking. I guess you get turn-by-turn basic on Android for free. But CoPilot does very well on Android as well. So there's a big demand for full-featured navigation on Android. We've got Nokia's Here, which is really walking. I know it can do some turn-by-turn, but it's a little limited. And all off-board maps, so you have to download the maps in order to go somewhere. And then there's some other navigation products. A lot of these are really generated by, or created on the OpenStreetMap and the crowdsourced maps, which I think is a very interesting project, and we watch it very carefully. But I think today we think that if you're driving a lot and you rely on this product for in-car navigation, then we really think you need a very high quality map. So this is why we continue to use Nella. So here's this is the CoPilot range again. Just talked about this. Talk about it again. So you have Premium, which has everything, and then we have GPS, which gives you mapping and trip planning, and then the extras you can buy within the app. So it's a very nice way of getting a high quality map for free, but it's also an easy way to get additional navigation features.
So in this one you can pick and choose what you think is important for you. So you can either get the full version that has, as David said, has everything, or then if you don't want to pay for everything, you can buy active traffic, or if you think I don't need active traffic, you don't buy it.
And we really try and bring in as much as we can into the product without making it too much features. So we have active traffic, of course. We have 3D maps, but we have speed limits, safety cameras or speed cameras in the app as well. So let's keep going. So truck. So I mentioned this before. This is an incredible product, actually. Really, an application designed to keep large vehicles from going in the wrong place. And I don't know about in Italy, in fact, but in the UK, there's always in the news stories of the big truck getting stuck under a bridge, or going through a small town and taking the wrong route. And so we have a truck, we have an app for those people. And so this is it will make sure that the driver goes down the right route. This is it's €160 app. So it certainly is not cheap, but the map data behind it is extremely expensive, as you can imagine. It's designed for professional drivers. So, I think we won't dwell on this too much, but I think from our perspective, not all navigation apps are the same. I think people think that navigation apps are all the same, but they're not. And so for us, I think we take it very seriously. If you're in a car, it's actually a very potentially dangerous place to be. You can do yourself some injury, or financial injury, or you can hurt somebody else. So it's always important to try and keep your eyes on the road, and you don't need to be thinking about what to do next. So it's important to have a reliable navigation product. And that's really what CoPilot's all about. We don't think online mapping apps are really suitable for in-car navigation for everyday use. And of course the map quality varies substantially.
And of course, what we've seen happening now is that there's a lot of augmented reality, 3D reality, and people are making the sat-nav to be a game. It's more flashy images, flashy cars. But do you really want to watch the navigation while you're driving? Because you're supposed to, it's supposed to help you, and you're not supposed to look in the screen and then you ignore everything that's happening in the world. It can be very destructive. They are cool though, and maybe just...
Very cool on foot.
Yeah.
So I think, for CoPilot, it is designed all about the driver. I think, we actually do want navigation to be fun. We don't want it to be too serious, but at the same time, we want it to be reliable. We want it to be safe. So that's exactly how we designed the product. And we ultimately we try and offer the same experience on iOS as we do on Android. So we love both of those platforms just the same. We think all of today's smartphones and tablets are perfect for navigation, particularly the ones with GPS in them. And I think, has anybody here got an iPad mini? You haven't got one. We think the iPad mini is going to be perfect for CoPilot as well. Obviously the 3G version.
Yeah, I have my little smart, and this is very good for navigation actually, because it's a smaller tablet, but the screen is bigger, so it's easier to see the map and the instructions. And as David said, we have supported Android since the first Android phone, and right now we're supporting over 250 Android tablets and mobile devices. So from the first one to the latest ones, such as Nexus 7, and we keep on developing it. It's complicated because you have different screen sizes, you have different OS. Every time there's a software update, we need to check everything. But we think it's worth it because, we love Android. Yes, I do.
Paulina likes Android a little more than I. So these are these screens, and if you've used CoPilot, this is how this actually looks on the device or in the car. Obviously, if you haven't used CoPilot, then we will absolutely get your copies. But these are this is the experience you can expect in the product. So we have the lane arrows, which are particularly helpful in the city. We have the major motorway and intersections and the auto routes. We have this reality view, which is a really nice way of seeing what to do at a major turn. In terms of the driver-friendly And what we mean by that, we have it's what we call the safety view or the directions view. So this is designed to prevent distraction. So we'll only show you a map near the tunnel. And then we have what we call personal routes. This is really about giving you the best way to your destination. And so we can provide you with 3 different ways to get to your location. And if you have the traffic service enabled, you can see here that we will give you an estimated time of arrival and a distance based on real-time traffic along the route. So I'd say it's always going to try and find the best way, the quickest way, the most efficient way to get to your destination. So, maybe we move on to the new features. What do you want to talk through?
Yes, sure. So, another trend we're seeing in the market is that everything is getting more connected, more social. So, we wanted to go also to that direction. Of course, we have put in the credit Google local search. We used to have Bing, but actually we did a survey with our users, asking them what they would like to improve in the product. And one of the main questions and requirements was actually changing Bing to Google, which was very interesting. So that's what we have done. Also, we have Wikipedia, we have live weather, we have in the credit Twitter and Facebook status updates if you want to tell your friends where you are at. And the new feature we're having now is Yelp. So you are able to see also the user ratings, and you can navigate to the place. So it actually adds, we think it adds a lot of value for people because what comes to restaurants, what comes to different point of interest, we think the user reviews are very important.
Yeah, so this is fully integrated within the product. And so you can search for whatever you're trying to find nearby, and we will immediately connect to Yelp and show a set of results. You can tap on any one of them and find out the information. You can call them straight from the app. And then you can go further and look at the reviews and connect straight into Yelp. And then when you're happy that that's the place you want to go, you just hit go, and CoPilot will take you straight there.
Then we also have improved traffic. So what we realized is that we used to show only that there's a delay, but I think it's very important to know why there is a delay, because if it's a road work, small traffic jam, it's okay, but if it's a car accident, it's better you recalculate the route. And that means that just by touch of a finger you can select an alternative route for you to avoid the car accident or any traffic jam. And this, I think, will be very good news for our Italians. So we're making Italian app also. We're making it HD. So it used to work only in iPhone, but now it's going to work also in iPad. So it comes with all the features that we have designed for iPad. For example, the split screen navigation. And I think this is very good because tablets are going to be a big decision. This will also, of course, work in the iPad mini, so with the GPS.
Yeah, so we think, when we first started out with CoPilot, we had 2 versions. We had a version for iPad, and we had a version for iPhone. And I think that was pretty in common with many developers. And I think the trend these days is to bring them all together. So this is really where we're heading. And certainly on Android, there's no distinction. iOS, we really want to make these apps universal. So this is the first step, is to make all of the individual region versions of CoPilot universal. And so yeah, we think it will be really popular with everybody in Italy who already has the normal iPhone now.
Other improvements we have is better battery life. So the GPS navigation apps, they take a lot of battery from your tablet or phone. So we are constantly improving the process, trying to see best ways how to save battery. Of course, we recommend you to have an in-car charger in the car, but we're working on that. Other thing is privacy. So privacy, especially because of Facebook, it's a very big thing. So we decided to enhance the privacy settings, so you can feel more secure that we're not using the data for anything bad. And of course, then we have a lot of other requirements, such as the app will now not only work, in portrait, it will also work upside down, etc.
Yeah, so I think 9.4 is it's a big improvement for the live services with Yelp. I think it's in terms of the rest of the app, we're continuing to improve. We have a lot of really exciting stuff coming next year. We're doing some very interesting things with anticipating how where you want to go at certain times of the day. So if, for example, you start CoPilot in the morning and you're somewhere near your house, and the time is between, say, 7 a.m. and 8 a.m., probably you're going to go to work. So we can take you to work. And we can also plan we can look at traffic before you go, so we can tell you the best way to go before you even leave your house. We have a lot of additional things coming as well with the overall with the mapping and the actual the performance of the app. We've got a slide here about it. And I think again, we really think we've only just begun with navigation. I think a lot of people are predicting the end of navigation, and we think quite the opposite. And I think we are very excited about the opportunities available. And I think with the mapping, with connectivity, it's with the hardware that's coming. These are incredible devices for navigation, and so we're very very excited about the future. And it's really just a case of which things do we focus on first. As much as we'd like to do all of this in January, but this will probably take a little while. But we have a lot of great things coming to CoPilot. And I think this is one of the most interesting things about the App Store is when you buy an app these days, it's not like the old days of software where you buy some software and you have to wait for the new version before you get anything new. With apps, of course, the expectation is that we're always providing new things for free. And it's exactly what we're going to do. So people that buy CoPilot now will be making an investment in a lifetime of really great new features. And so again, it's a very different world of software development than it ever used to be. And going back 10 years, we've seen a very big change in how software is released and how to develop software. We develop features much quicker than we ever used to, and we bring them to users much more quickly than we ever used to do. But the key thing is that we're now able to deliver improvements to customers very easily. And I remember going back 3 or 4 years when CoPilot was on a memory card or with HTC, where it was pre-installed on the ROM. If we wanted to change anything in the ROM of an HTC device, or to change CoPilot on the pre-installed version on HTC, we would need HTC to release an entirely new ROM, which is impossible. And I think we could do one update every 2 years. Here we could do an update every month, and the App Store and Google Play will manage this for us. So it's a challenge, but it's exciting that we can continue to innovate and bring new features to our customers. And so we think the idea of having the entire world potentially on your phone with the ability to add and remove countries as you need them is a pretty great thing. We certainly are not going to stop keeping mapping on the phone. We're not going to go to the downloaded maps per trip. So we'll always be on board for offline use. But we definitely want to add more more fun to the product as well. So we'll definitely look at adding more themes to the product. We want to enable people to share favourite locations with other people, and we want to add some, maybe add some of the celebrity voices and some more fun things into the product as well. Drivers like the fun stuff as well as the serious stuff. And then, in terms of the future of technology, then there's some great tech for text-to-speech, but also speech into CoPilot, so automatic speech recognition. And we've been trialing speech recognition in CoPilot for at least 6 years. And the limitation we've always found is the actual hardware itself. So in a car, it's perfectly well in this room. You could talk into CoPilot and it would be perfect. But if you're in a car and you're on an auto route, it's going to be it's just too noisy, and so it's very difficult to make that reliable enough. But the technology for voice recognition is improving enough now that we think we can do it in a safe way. And I think finally we actually think navigation on foot is still an opportunity for CoPilot. I know there's some fantastic stuff going on with from Nokia themselves with here. There's some good things going on from Google, of course. So there are some good walking apps out there. But most of these are still downloaded maps and not offline. And so we think we can do a great onboard walking mode as well. And so that's another thing that we aim to do next year. So we've got a whole variety of new things coming, which I think our customers are going to really like. So, that's pretty much what we've got to say today.
Grazie mille per essere venuti. E ci vediamo in un nuovo lavoro. Spero. Do you have any questions?
Yes, I have 2 questions. The first one is, which is the provider for the data for live traffic? Because it's important. I think that for every country it's different.
Yeah, so the provider is actually sitting just behind you. And so we work with Navtech or Nokia for traffic.
Oh, okay, scanning from Navtech. So the server that collect the data and the feedback is coming from Navtech.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's a lot more than just Nokia phones that are collecting the data. So it's they have fleets of vehicles that so they work with professional fleets that collect traffic information. They work with the local traffic providers in each country as well. So I know traffic is a huge priority area for Nokia as a company. And we did a lot of testing with that traffic service, the flow-based traffic, and we would only add it into the product if we thought it was good enough, because we have several traffic providers who contact us regularly, and we work with INRIX, for example, in America, but in Europe, across Europe, we work with we use Nokia traffic.
The second one, sorry. The second one is the speech recognition.
Yes.
Siri, or it's your
Well,
technology to use, for example, for the phone version.
Well, let's, I'll be quite open about it. We work currently with Nuance for text-to-speech. Nuance have some extremely strong and extremely powerful speech recognition technology as well. I think they actually power Siri. So, most likely we'll work with, we test their technology, and so, we partner with them. We would expect to bring the best they have to CoPilot.
Your business model for the premium version is a subscription or a one-shot purchase of the application?
It's a one-shot purchase for the application. Now we do have live traffic in the product, and we include 12 months for free, but then after 12 months then it's a subscription. So it's the traffic service is a subscription, but the rest of the navigation product is a one-shot, one-hit payment.
Even for the updates for the maps?
So we provide 2 updates a year within the product currently, and we intend to carry on doing it
For life?
for the foreseeable future. And life is a long time, isn't it? I think you talk to some of when you go down to the electrical store and you see some PNDs advertising lifetime map updates. Well, they're not really. Lifetime is a debatable time span. I think normally for a PND, life means about 2 years. Now we'll certainly be providing 2 map updates a year in CoPilot for more than 2 years. I hesitate to say life, because I don't know how long life really is, but we don't intend to stop offering map updates. So currently they're included as standard.
Yeah, so the lifetime license means that, for example, if you have iPhone 4, you can move the license to iPhone 5. You can also, if you get now, when we have the Italian HD, you can move your license to iPad. Same thing with Android. I had Samsung S and I moved it to my Nexus 7. So it's very useful because if you lose your mobile or it breaks, you can just activate it with your user email and password, and you get all the data. That's why also it's important that now you can save everything in the cloud. So you can save all your favorites and everything. So when you restore the license, you have everything that you used to have in the cloud, which is quite important because if you use this for, let's say, 5 years, you have all your favorite routes, and if you lose all that data, it's a shame.
Are you planning to release a version for Windows Phone or Windows RT?
Well, we actually think we're currently testing for the laptop version with Windows 8. So we're pretty confident that that's going to run just fine. We need to do a bit more testing. For the mobile platforms, again, we have access to the SDK. I think we weren't able to do Windows Phone 7. It was what Microsoft called managed code, which essentially meant that CoPilot is programmed in C++. So to port it across to Windows Phone 7 would have required an enormous effort on our part, and there wasn't a huge amount of help available from Microsoft to do that, and it was a major challenge for us. But I think Windows Phone 8 should be a lot easier for us. So it's definitely on our roadmap. I can't give a specific time frame, but we definitely want to support it. And when you go back to that first slide of the years we've been running CoPilot, pretty much for 7 out of 10 years, actually probably 10 out of 12 years, we were almost exclusively Microsoft. So most of our early history was built on Microsoft and the Microsoft platform. So we absolutely want to support, the Microsoft mobile platforms. RT is a little tricky, but I think again it's something we're looking at. I expect that Windows Phone 8 is going to be pretty successful. It might take a while to build, but I think it's not going to go away. And now we can actually develop for the platform, as opposed to being restricted. I think it opens up the possibility of doing that. So yeah, we're already testing it. It's just the question there really is, we need to understand what experience people will expect from that, from Windows Phone 8 or from a Windows phone, because they have the live tiles. And I think it will probably be relatively easy to bring CoPilot as it is on Android or iPhone straight into Windows Phone 8. But I think people would expect more. They'd expect us to work with some of the clever things within the Windows Phone 8 UI, and take advantage of some of the things you can do with Windows Phone 8. So we could rush something, but I think we'd rather do it properly. And particularly as it seems as though in most parts of Europe, at least, Windows Phone 8 is kind of gradually building. Although it's obviously very popular here in Italy. It's been very successful here so far.
Yeah, I think it was 14%. I think that's
pretty good for a Microsoft phone these days.
because it's not
Well,
sorry, I'm finished.
So yeah, we can, it's absolutely on our radar. I think for Windows Phone 7, we actually would have liked to have done it, but it was impossible. But now, and there was no commercial, but I think now there's a real opportunity in it. Again, the actual Windows 8 version, we think is ready to run out of the box, so we probably already support it. Which I actually want to try it on a Surface Pro.
In the previous slide, we see that you are supporting Word maps. So are you planning a version for entire Word, or you have to purchase CoPilot Europe, CoPilot USA, and so on?
Yeah, so we're making a big change there actually. And that's already available in the GPS app, the free app. So in the free app, if you choose, you have one country as standard for free, and then you can then buy all of Europe. You can then buy other countries and other continents within the app. So you can start building a map of Europe within the application. And at the moment our plan is we aim to go wherever Navtech is. And so we have all of Europe, of course. We have all of North America. We have Australasia in that app. We have South Africa. We're about to launch the Middle East. The Middle East is coming to this product. And then we'll expand in South America. So we have Brazil, but we can add other countries there too. And then next year we'll be adding India and Southeast Asia. So we're gradually covering it off. And I think as the map coverage expands, then we'll build it into the product. Right now we process almost the entire of Navtech world internally. So we do this. We have a team of 30 data processors in our US office, and they process all of Navtech's world twice a year. But there's only because it's an in-car product, we're always very careful about releasing a new country, but we've made sure that it really is safe to drive, and somebody hasn't screwed something up. So we don't rush to release new maps, or new map regions at least. But certainly come by in the next 6 months, we'll have all of the developed world in the product. And again, we'll try and update the maps twice a year for free.
On the App Stores, we see, for example, the track version of CoPilot. So if someone has a truck, could use it and go on. But if someone use, for example, caravans or trailers for boats, they have to use the truck version or the standard version have a trailer mode, something similar to the truck version?
It's a good question. And when we launched the truck version, we had a lot of interest from people with RVs and caravans. And in fact, I was at the launch of before then, I was at the launch of Navtech's transport data in the UK. And a lot of the people there were from caravan magazines and RV magazines. And absolutely, it's a good product for people with a big vehicle, but it's expensive. So in our standard version, we have a mode called RV mode, which is designed it doesn't have the low bridges and it doesn't have the characteristics of the Navtech transport data. But what it will do is create routes that are safer for a big vehicle. So it'll always favour a main road, not a small road. It'll try and keep you out of trouble as best it can. And it'll avoid having to make a U-turn, and it'll avoid sharp turns as well. So it'll really look ahead and try and take you on the best route it can.
But the truck version includes also the standard version, or
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
so
the
it
truck
is
version,
the complete version.
Yeah, yeah. It's the car version plus truck.
Okay. And so in a truck version, you could insert, for example, data from the vehicle, long, weight, high, and so on.
Yeah, I've actually I have a copy of the truck version on my iPhone here, so I can show you that. And in fact, we just 2 days ago updated the truck version for free from it was on our previous version 8 to version 9. It took us a really long time because we added a lot of new improvements to how you enter in the size of a vehicle and the type of things you're carrying. And anyway, we just put that onto the App Store, I think it was on Friday.
Yeah,
we didn't even have time to do a press release. And it's live on the App Store now. So this is a free update for all people that already have the truck app. It included a free map update to the latest Navtech truck maps, which I can tell you are very expensive. And it has all of the new features as well. So
for example, if your truck has chemicals, or if there are truck restricted roads, or as David was saying, if the bridge is very low, we're not saying go there. Actually, even before you're driving, you can map the route. So it's really good also for companies because they can see the route that you should be driving, how much you should spend on it, and the truck driver starts driving it, and you should. I think it's very good because you can actually, as a company, already see how much it's going to cost you. What's the distance and how long it's going to take. So it's very good.
And I think truck is actually something we could theoretically add as a upgrade feature to the standard product. So it could be done. So we could add you can upgrade truck within the app. But that's we will investigate that. The maps are essentially the same maps, but with additional features added on.
Inside these features, you could also use, for example, GPS tracking mode for remote control of the truck unit.
Yeah, so I think that starts to get into a very different type of application. And so there's a lot of interest from truck manufacturers in integrating a smartphone into the car and into the cab. And we work with some pretty large truck companies already that are doing exactly that. So we have a very close partnership with Renault Trucks in obviously France, around Europe, and we have a very long-term relationship with Scania, and we work with others as well, which I can't tell you about. But there's a lot of projects on the go internally, working with truck manufacturers to integrate the smartphone into the cab, and in the way that you're saying. So getting information from the cab into the smartphone, and then also the other way around. And so there's an entire set of features called ADAS, you may be aware. And so these are attributes about the road which could make driving more efficient. And so it knows about steep slopes, and it knows about different types of road, and then it could automatically adjust the gear of the truck to suit the actual road itself.
Are you planning to add also augmented reality?
That actually is, it's interesting, but it's not actually on our, it actually isn't on our radar really. You know, we don't think augmented reality is ideal for in-car navigation. I think it's very interesting to have on foot.
Yes.
I think it's, you know, as we improve our walking mode, we can definitely look at adding augmented reality. I think satellite imagery is interesting too. You know, I think for in-car, it's much more important to simplify the guidance display, not add too much information into it. And you know, we test this type of technology and we look at it. It's not, we don't ignore it, but we'll only add anything into the product when we think it's safe and when we think it's useful for a driver. And we'll never add anything into the product that we think isn't useful to drive. But that may be something that could be a useful feature for walking mode, for example.
Any more questions?
Great. Well, thank you very much. And you know, we'd be happy to show you some of this stuff actually working on some of the devices here.